Hey there, guys. This is Sam,
And Michael.
and here's another Life with Autism video. And since Michael's performance is coming up very soon in the Woodstock Playhouse, we would like to talk to us about what it's like to us having musical talents. There are some who played different instruments, and most of them can sing.
That's very true when it comes to musical talents.
I will start talking about my music life. I began to play the piano when I was about 6 years old. I didn't take any piano lessons at the time. It was at a 61 key Casio light up keyboard at the time. Yeah, those definitely are the fun times when I was just a child. And they have all these different well known songs or even classical pieces that it actually showed me how to play them. And yeah, that's how I do it. And when it comes to me learning to play certain songs or whatever songs I like, I learn most of them by ear. But eventually I will learn how to read music. And especially since if I wanted to be a music teacher, such as teaching people how to play piano or guitar and whatnot, Michael's definitely going to support me for that. And yeah, when it comes to me learning music, it may take time for me to memorize all these notes, or yeah, and it's gonna have to take patience for that as well. So I'm working on it. Anyway, besides playing piano, I also play the electric guitar since 2018, and I did learn lessons there, and that was at the time when COVID was a thing, like around 2021. And as you guys already know, I love rock and heavy metal music, and there are certain music that I do like, of course. I love old music, and when it comes to piano, that is something that I basically love to learn when it comes to that, and especially classical music, or even possibly playing rock music. And as you already know, my three favorite composers are Bach, Mozart, and Chopin. Even though I love his music, however, most of his pieces are just way too hard. And not only that, for the difficulty pieces are also too long, and it's gonna take patience, but also months or even almost a year to get those pieces finished and get them perfect and try to practice without any mistakes. And that is something I've learned when it comes to that. I thought many of them are not too hard, but then I realized I wasn't patient enough at the time. That's when I was in my late teens. And I'm trying my best not to make any mistakes, but I don't want to make too many mistakes because I wasn't practiced enough. Nobody's perfect when it comes to play piano, but I know there are people who enjoy my piano playing, and I'm sure Michael enjoyed my piano videos as well.
I certainly did.
Especially most of the Bach pieces I played, and some of the Mozart pieces there, and yes, I did play a few Chopin pieces, and there are some pieces are actually not too hard once you know how it's done, because there are some other pieces I would love to learn. Some of it, like perhaps his nocturnes, his waltzes, and whatnot. Some of them are maybe not too hard, isn't it?
Yeah, some of Chopin's pieces aren't that hard, but most of them are, unfortunately.
And if you guys been wondering where I got those musical talents from, it was from my father, because he played the electric guitar, and it was years ago before we were born. But there's really not much to talk about right now. It's just basically how I learned music. Now, as for me, and I will finally open up about this when it comes to if people asking me if I sing, or wondering if you probably heard that when someone's singing happy birthday songs whenever somebody's birthday, you probably noticed I wasn't singing. I do sing, but I am not comfortable singing in front of everybody. What if I sound bad if I sing, especially while being recorded? The thing is with singing, I'm just doing it for fun. I will definitely talk more about the singing when perhaps we'll get to the next video or whatever. So you'll probably figure what my voice type is. Oh yeah, and also I play the cello as well, but I didn't play as much as piano and guitar. But sometime in the future, would love to get back to it because, to be honest, learning and playing the cello is more easier than the violin. And plus, I really love the lower notes of it. And when it comes to me learning some pieces on the cello, I like to learn Bach's cello suites because those are definitely well known.
They are indeed. I've heard a lot of those in the past as well.
Especially Yo-Yo Ma's versions of his cello suites, because we know with Yo-Yo Ma he's a great cellist.
Oh yeah.
If people are autistic or not, they do have passion for music, and even if they don't have to learn from their parents, you can learn from yourselves by maybe go to like a music school or some like music stores where you get lessons here if you want to learn to play. That is something I learned how to play the guitar. Alright, so that is all I gotta say when it comes to my music talents. Now I know what comes to Michael with his music talents, because we talked about this before, but we may want to talk about this again. So for those of you who are new to this page, we're probably going to talk about it again. Well, mainly Michael who did it. So.
Okay, well, just so you all know, I actually have a musical family. My mother happens to be a jazz singer and a music therapist, while my father is a guitar player, and he does a lot of recordings in the studio. I actually have had a passion for music my whole life, and I even made an audio biography of, life from when I was in the womb to, college life, because part of my assignment for one of my classes at SUNY New Paltz was an audio biography.
It's a good thing you mentioned
music talents.
It's a good thing you mentioned that, because this year it'll be 10 years since you posted your audio biography here. So
That is correct. Yep.
I don't know what we'll make about it, but you may continue.
Yep. 10 years. It'll be 10 years in October. The very first instrument I learned how to play for real was the violin. I was in third grade when I learned that instrument. I did have a passion for that instrument too, especially I had some really good private teachers. I had some great orchestra teachers. And I also got to play some talent shows, which was cool, including a lot of people I remember loved when I played the Alan Jackson song "Little Bitty." I even wrote some fun songs like Jerry Mouse, and that was with my first ever private violin teacher, Betty McDonald. But as I got older, I felt like I had more of a passion for one of the current instruments that I've been playing since 2009. That's the upright bass. I picked up the upright bass in 2009 as I was going into junior year of high school. When I went to SUNY Ulster, after a while, I felt like I had more of a passion for the bass than the violin, because I even felt like I had more bass fans than violin fans in the audience too, because I also had more of a smile on my face while playing the bass on stage, especially on a couple of songs that I played with the band, like Russian Christmas Music, Synergy Rising, Blue Shades, and of course some marches like Black Horse Troop and Stars and Stripes Forever and stuff like that. I mean, I did play violin with the New Paltz Youth Symphony as well Sunday nights. That was always a fun time. And then as I went to SUNY New Paltz, I ended up switching to bass after a while, because I still felt like I had more passion for the bass. So I ended up switching from second violins to bass.
Yeah, I feel like you were more interested in playing the bass than the violin.
Yep, after a while I definitely had more interest for the bass, but my bass life was definitely way better.
Do you feel like the bass is more easier and learn to play than the violin?
Yeah, especially since like violin has all those high notes to learn, and the bass is more fun and easy. It is easier to learn, like just like you mentioned too with the cello.
And that's exactly how I feel when it comes to it, because I prefer playing instruments that had the lower notes there, and it's comfortable for me to learn them. And I asked you if I can try your bass. It actually fits my height, and because it's a 3/4 size, it's just about there, and I was able to reach it too with the bow, because knowing how large it is, and especially that I'm not a tall woman. Thank you for letting me try that, and perhaps I could think about playing the bass one day, but I gotta have the money for it. I gotta be rich if I wanted to try that, because we know how expensive upright basses are.
Oh yeah, and by the way, you're very welcome for allowing me to let you try the bass. When I was playing violin, I also did all county, NISMA, and some fun orchestras, but then I did more with the bass, and in 2013 I learned how to play piano. I took lessons for a while before I even became a teacher So, and I'm currently playing guitar. I started playing that in 2014. And as for singing, I'm kind of the same way. I mean, I like to sing, but sometimes I also can get shy while singing in public, because I've also been asked to do open mics at times, and I'm not interested in that right now because I'm a busy guy. So
Yeah, and because what was happening, we appreciate the offer for Michael for doing open mics, but this is not what you really wanted. Is that true?
not right now, because I'd rather just perform what I want to perform, and I've been playing at the Woodstock Playhouse for 10 years. This is going to be my 10th year coming up. And as Sam mentioned, I'm going to be playing some shows soon, and including the first show I'm playing this summer is Grease, and that's going to be with the electric bass, which I started playing in 2019. I played some shows on the electric bass starting that year. I also played Fame. I've played Footloose. And I even had to play a couple of shows on both upright and electric bass, like Evita, The Addams Family, and Spamalot.
That is something that you're more into when it comes to performing in front of people. With the Woodstock Playhouse, or even in the orchestra too. Because you're definitely special to everybody, because you're the only person in the pit orchestra who is actually autistic.
That's very true, and
this is the whole point about this topic, why we spoke to you guys about this.
That's very true about me, that I'm the only autistic person in the pit orchestra at the Woodstock Playhouse, and it's always been like a summer dream job, playing these Broadway shows on the bass, either if it's upright or electric.
Oh yeah, and I know we talked in the other topic when it comes to you as a piano teacher. We can also, you can also talk about that, because there's also the other instrument you also play besides the bass or the string instruments.
So I've been a piano teacher since 2018. I used to teach older adults at OU Boise, Orange Ulster Bosie's in Goshen. That lasted for about 3 years, but ever since COVID became a thing, people weren't really signing up. And on top of that, I felt like teaching private lessons was better. So
And you're really good at piano too.
Yes, thank you. And I also, there had to be at least 4 people registered in order for me to teach the course. It was a 10-week course that met one night a week. So, but then in 2022, I was offered another part-time job teaching piano to kids at Fishkill Music Academy. And when I started doing that, I thought people would learn better if they worked one-on-one with me instead of a group of people, because when I work with a group of people, it's hard for me to know what their levels are going to be like. I have to pay attention to a lot of adults at once. So I feel like teaching one person privately is the better thing. So ever since 2022, I've been teaching private lessons, and I've really enjoyed working with the kids and having them making them happy while making music.
And that makes you a wonderful teacher.
Thank you so much. So I've been teaching piano to kids at Fishkill Music Academy for almost 3 years. It'll be 3 years in September. I've also done videos of me singing and playing guitar, I enjoy doing those videos too. I even wrote some songs in the past as well.
Yeah, and that's the last thing we wanted to bring in, because not just learn the instruments, but you're also a songwriter. That's also something that you've done for fun.
That's right. I have written songs. I even wrote a song in 4th grade too when I was playing violin, and the song was called "I Can Be Brave." I did a songwriting workshop for 8 weeks in 2019 with this guy James, and I wrote 2 songs. One of them was a love song called "The Perfect Date for Me," and the other song was about noises in a house called "Around the House." And ever since Sam became my girlfriend, I've written multiple songs with her around, like Wheel of Fortune, because I won that game show back in 2020. And I also wrote some love songs for her, like She's My Girl and You're the One. And You're the One was the song that I wrote this year.
And that was definitely my favorite right now that you wrote that for me. Just because you're a songwriter, you don't need to perform in front of people. You do what makes you happy.
Mm-hmm.
And as your girlfriend, I would never pressure you to do things that you're not comfortable doing. And that's the thing. I just want you to do what makes you happy.
Thank you, Love Bug. And the same goes for you too. And nobody should be pressuring you to do what you don't want to do. And I would never do that to you either.
And it's the same thing how I feel about my singing. So if I want to sing, I'll let you know when I'm ready to feel like singing, and especially while recording and doing karaoke and stuff. Mm-hmm. The thing is with singing, I just want to make sure I need to know the words correctly and practice and chose songs that's comfortable for my voice type. Because, I will definitely get to my voice type when I'm ready to talk to you about it. And you guys know that Michael's voice type is baritone.
That's right. My voice type is baritone. Bass baritone, to be exact.
Yeah, there is for certain songs, but there are other songs you can go for your high register too.
Yep, like for those falsetto notes. Yeah,
because you have an amazing vocal range. Well, that is it. And like Michael said, this year for the shows at the Woodstock Playhouse, for this month, it's now June. He's gonna be performing "Grease" with his electric bass, and like last year, Fridays and Saturdays at 7:30, and Sundays 2 p.m. Mm-hmm. And as for July, it's Oklahoma, which it'll be upright bass for him.
Yeah.
And then for August, it's Can-Can, which is also upright bass.
That's true.
Thank you guys for watching for Life with Autism. We will let you guys know when we'll make another one for another topic with something that's less common to people with autism could do. So, life with music is important, especially with people like us. And, this is definitely part of fun. And we love playing different instruments and do stuff for fun. So we'll see you guys later.
Yep, see you next time, folks.